and I'm leaving the bed with my wife because I told her like, no, he's listen, baby, I'm learning from this man. I'm going, I'm leaving.
That's the point. By knowing that someone's holding you accountable, it helps you to walk the straight and narrow.
It's always the same thing, man. Spirits follow the same program because it works. It was because I submitted myself to this brother, and he taught me.
So he taught you how to be a con artist.
For some reason, I always gave men more respect than I thought anybody else would give.
Like you right here with me, so you can't tell me nothing. And what I learned how the older men look at the younger cats that listen, because most don't. So when you find that one that's willing to listen and learn, you say, okay, it's worth me putting my energy into. It's worth me pouring my knowledge into. I might not have money, I might not have status, I might not have all this stuff, but I got some knowledge and understanding on life. And I learned I have similar experience, right? Like, I've been overseas, over 10 years, and you meet different brothers and sisters, and over the time, you always run into some people that's in extenuating circumstances, and you
Right.
have mercy on them, you have pity, you're like, man, but things just didn't work out for them, and over the
Mm.
years, bro, I think it's 100% of the times it's something they got going on that they're not telling. You find out a lot of
Mm.
times, you find out after the fact, but then you find out, oh, they was dealing with this. They was doing this.
Mm-hmm.
They was doing this. And so this is why they off by themselves. Like you said, anytime
Yeah.
what I notice I hear is whenever it's somebody that's part of the body, and then they start going off, and you start seeing them less and less. They doing something they got no
Mm-hmm.
business doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it
They
haven't
they
failed
only
yet.
want you to see what they only want you to see what they show you. You
Yeah,
know, we had a brother who was in the midst of some illicit activity with a sister in the body, and I hate to say it, bro, but our women, they be shameless sometimes. She was still able to show up to the Shabbat and keep a strong face, but this brother was too ashamed to show up, right? So he
yeah,
separated himself and he went to another state. And we didn't know why he moved. He just really kind of went combo black on us, no communication. And she
yeah,
didn't say anything to us. And he came back one day. I think it was on a holy day too. I think it was around Tabernacle time. The brother came back after being gone for so long, and he just showed up at my house. Man, we was having a holy day because another one of our brothers invited him. Like, brother, come, come. We ain't seen you. It'd be a great surprise for everybody. The brother show up, and you would think that he's showing up just to be jubilant with everybody on a holy day, but he showed up with a heavy spirit, bro, and called me out to the garage, and being another brother, I need to talk to y'all too, man. And he just let it out. I did this with this sister. I don't know how she able to come like this, and that's why I've been so separate. And I realize now, if I would have just came to y'all and told y'all that I did it when I did it, I may not have been feeling this way that I've been feeling. He's like, man, I've been so ashamed I couldn't even call y'all. I mean, y'all probably already know. I said, no, brother, we knew you was being separate or, being distant, but we didn't know exactly why. You know what I'm saying? So it's always the same thing, man. Spirits follow the same program because it works, right? If you see a brother, but he doesn't want to, he only wants you to see him. He wants you to see him. He only wants you to see from him what he likes to show you. You have to be weary of that brother. That brother probably needs more attention than the brother that you see every other day. That brother right there gonna need you a lot more because he's probably dealing with something. Well, there's probably
hmm
something he's sheltering inside of him that's preventing him from furthering his relationship with the Heavenly Father. And you got the power to change that. You can't force him to change, but you can't help him. You know what I mean? So oftentimes when we see brothers who like being distant, they probably need the most help, man. They
All right.
probably
So
need the most help.
let me flip the script now. How do you hold your what's the accountability system that you have for yourself? How who's holding you accountable, and how are you being held accountable?
So throughout my life, it's always changed. The people that I've had around me to hold me accountable. Initially, it was the man who it's always been men who were mentoring me. From uh, I learned accountability was an important thing in my life when I was young, and when I say young, I mean sophomore in high school, right? Because my family was filled with women, and it caused a lot of infighting because nobody was holding anybody accountable. And when I had an opportunity to learn a certain trade from a certain man, I humbled myself to this man, even before I even knew what it was. I'm like, what
Yeah.
this man say goes. I mean, if he tell me I need to go there, I need to learn this, need to get this, I'm gonna do it. And it paid off because in my next year, when I was able to attend his class officially, he was like, hey Smitty, you're gonna come work with me. You know, he had like 12 students, but he chose me to come on actual jobs with him to repair air conditions and all this kind of stuff, man. And he didn't know it at the time, but I really needed the money for my family, for my mom and everything,
Yeah.
to help take care of things. And so I really submitted myself to this man, and he gave me a lot of information. And one thing he said to me that really stuck with me, he said, "Look, he's like, I'm gonna teach you what I do." He's like, but most of the time I teach, I know them guys ain't gonna learn nothing. He's like, but you different. You different. If you take this air, he cursed a lot, right? He's like, if you take this air condition as far as it goes, he said, ain't no telling where you can take it. Ain't no telling, Smitty. You just stick with me and you're gonna see. And he was right. I learned that air conditioning through and through, dealing with boilers and chillers and all, and pumps and compressors. And just by me submitting myself to him, it opened up a whole new pathway in my mind. I went from doing air conditioning to doing um, transformers to doing compressors and pumps and all these different scroll compressors and everything. And I went from that into cryogenics. And people always ask me, man, what university did you go to? Where'd you get your bachelor's at? Or you got some special training or something? No, it was because I submitted myself to this brother and he taught me.
So he taught you how to be a con artist?
He said, taught me how to be a No, man, he taught me no con artist, man. No, he just taught me, man, to identify seemingly unrelated things and how to come to a profitable conclusion. Most people see two unrelated things and just say, "Oh, those things are unrelated." But he told me to identify two unrelated things and I how to create a relationship from them, or excuse me, between them that you can profit from. And I did that with what he taught me. And same thing with my granddad, right? My pa used to take me to the junkyard. My grandmother used to always be on him because uh he was a drunkard. He smoked weed, sometimes. And because of that, they had problems. But I had somehow, and I really do believe this is the Heavenly Father, for some reason I always gave men more respect than I thought anybody else would give them. Not that it made me any taller or anything or made my life exceptionally easy, but for some reason it was just like a reflex for me. I understand that there's a lot of reasons why I should be looking down on this man, but I'm gonna respect him in his word.
Hey
And
man,
oftentimes I would learn
respect
a
is
lot from
big, man. I'm gonna tell
him. It
you too
is.
though. Something I realized, right? When I went to school, I was older than most of the people because I didn't go to school right. I didn't go to grad school right out of high school, right?
Mm,
I didn't go to school until I was probably like 25, 26 or something like that. So most of the cats, but a lot of the cats, probably majority of them were under 22 years old. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the cats I was in class with were younger, right? And I was hanging out with I'm 25, 26. They might be 22, 23, 21, anywhere from 18 to 23, um, and so it was this young dude, man, named Boss, man. And Boss, man, if you hear this one day, man, I appreciate you, man, for just being the stand-up
mm,
dude you was. But Boss, man, Boss was he was 18. Boss fresh out of high school, went to school, you know what I'm saying? And so, I'm somewhat like at this point, excuse my language, but at this point, I'm kind of like the big homie, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
but Boss, for whatever reason, and I had never really experienced this, he listened. Like because I'm old, I've been through a little bit, so I'm giving him the little game I got. But he would just listen, soak up the game, and apply it. And
Mm,
it made me respect him even more because I'm like, man, because when I was his age, I wouldn't listen like that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't just, you know what I'm saying, just get game from somebody who I, you know what I'm saying, who wasn't like beyond my reach. That's it's a lot of youngsters. They only listen to somebody who's beyond their reach. They won't listen to the person they can rub shoulders with. Like you right here with me, so you can't tell me nothing. But he listened, man. So I was just tell him what I knew, stuff I knew, and he would just listen. And it's and what I learned how the older men look at the younger cats that listen, because most don't. So when you find that one that's willing to listen and learn, you say, okay, it's worth me putting my energy into. It's worth me pouring my knowledge into. Like I think about the scripture where Christ says, "Cast not your pearls among swine." Right. What I understand from that is that you don't give something valuable to somebody who's not going to value it.
Right.
Right. So when you got an older person and they want, because they older people, and as I get older, you want to impart wisdom to the youngsters. You want to give back what you got. I might not have money, I might not have status, I might not have all this stuff, but I got some knowledge and understanding on life, and I can share some stuff with you and help you avoid some pitfalls and make some better choices based on my experiences. Older people want to share this information with these youngsters, but the youngsters don't listen. And when you find that one, man, it's gratifying to be able to pour into somebody and see them benefit and flourish based on the information you did, even though you might not ever enjoy the fruits of their labor, but you get the satisfaction of knowing that you had a part to do with that. I poured into this young man, and look at him go. You know,
Right.
and so when you talk about, you just showed that respect, but I think it was because you were willing to listen that
Mm,
excited an older person to want to pour into you.
mm,
So
mm.
yeah, that's just what I learned, man.
I can see that. I can
Yeah.
definitely see that. Like and I wouldn't. Once, of course, it made things better when I started benefiting from that mindset. Well, initially, that wasn't even. I wasn't trying to benefit from it. I just felt a drive to respect older men. Maybe because society didn't respect them at all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
I've always been like that too. I always felt like
yeah,
I always prided myself to be able to humble myself to deal with anybody. I feel like I can have a conversation with a politician and a homeless man in the same day, in the same
right,
outfit. I have no problem getting, going sit down next to a homeless person under a bridge and conversing with them. I
right.
and what I'm saying, I have no problem doing that. Um,
Mm.
so I feel you. I really feel you on that. But
I think that. Go ahead.
no, I'll say I want to change the direction, but finish your thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say that carrying this same the same perception that you and I are talking about now,
Yeah.
carrying that from a secular sense into a more divine sense. When I became Israelite with the brother who was mentoring me, who himself he's no longer in the truth,
Oh
but
wow.
he baptized me, and
Mm.
so what we call the truth, of course, right?
Yeah.
But he's no longer, he's Hotep now,
Oh my
so
goodness. Yeah.
Hotep, and all that good stuff, right? So, but even to, when I met that brother, even my own family members who I brought in the truth with me was like, man, there's like y'all, you and him are brothers. Like we didn't know you longer, but y'all even started to look alike to us. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
brother could call me 12 o'clock at night, and I'm leaving the bed with my wife because I told her like, no, he's listen, baby, I'm learning from this man. I'm going, I'm leaving. This man called me late at night because it's an issue happening, and I need to help him move this and come get this. And he needs something to eat. Look, I'm gone. No question. Okay, thank you. I'm coming. I'm on the way. Gotta be working more than 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Don't care. Don't care. I'm getting something from this brother. I'm getting heavenly jewels from this brother. Right. I'm showing up 10 toes down on his doorstep, knocking on the door almost before I hang up the phone. Right.
Yeah.
And that translated from him to other, brothers who I considered men who had a good reputation about them, and who were upstanding brothers who had integrity. Um, who didn't just say, but they did also. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept transferring this same mindset to different men around me, and here now, even to you guys. You know what I'm saying? If I was to uh, kind of start derailing, the man that you guys think I should be, I'm expecting you guys to not force me, but kind of at first gently nudge me, but then strongly admonish me to the point where I'm almost afraid to see y'all, man. And that'll bring me face to face. But I live my life so that I don't find myself in those positions, because I don't want men like y'all who don't mind asking the difficult questions. I don't want y'all to have to address me for something.
Yeah.
I don't
And
want
that,
y'all
and
to have
that's
to,
that's
you
the
know,
point. That's the point.
Yeah.
We by knowing that someone's holding you accountable, it helps you to walk the straight and narrow because you
Yeah.
know that this brother is gonna be watching to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I know
Oh.
he watching me. He know I'm watching him, and we're keeping each other on the straight and narrow. That's the whole point.
Mhm.
Check. Hey.